This is a Super Bowl with no Packers and no Patriots. Let's celebrate. The Super Bowl is finally here. Yo, what's up world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing back in. And the Super Bowl is just a couple of days away. It is going to be a bittersweet day, as it is the culmination of the entire season down to its last game between the AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs and the NFC champion San Francisco 49ers. But it is a bittersweet moment, like I said, because it is the last game of the NFL season. So in today's video, you guys have been waiting for it. You guys have been asking me my predictions in my preview ever since both of the championship games concluded. So in today's video, we're going to preview the matchups and the upcoming Super Bowl, and we're also going to make our predictions for the upcoming Super Bowl. So without further ado, let's dive into it.
I'm striving to get rich. That's why I almost went 2 years without buying shoes and fits. Things change now. My mom hearing me with my music and she look a little prouder.
We have Kansas City's offense led by Patrick Mahomes, and he has weapons with him like Damian Williams, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins, and Mecole Hardman. They have weapons all over the place on the Kansas City offensive side of the ball. And Andy Reid's play calling and Eric Bieniemy's input as well. He should be a head coach in this league. But this Kansas City offense has been absolutely dynamic. I mean, coming back from deficits in both playoff games, first against the Houston Texans and second against the Tennessee Titans in the AFC Championship game. This Kansas City offense has been potent all season long, especially when Patrick Mahomes came back from that dislocated kneecap injury. It looked like the Kansas City offense really started to click on all cylinders, and now it's really starting to go full speed ahead in just all-world form. And on top of that, Mahomes' ability to escape the pocket is going to breed absolutely needed when he's going up against guys like Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa, DeForest Buckner on that front seven of the San Francisco 49ers. You do have Richard Sherman at the cornerback position, going up against those speedy receivers of the Kansas City Chiefs. And to be honest with you guys, I think Richard Sherman, if he doesn't have that much needed safety help over the top of the defense as that zone coverage that the 49ers implement, I think the speed of the Kansas City Chiefs receivers are going to pose a huge problem for Richard Sherman in the secondary of the 49ers. But at the same deal, it is all up to the Kansas City offensive line, who has been up and down for majority of the season. And I think, honestly, if it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes' scrambling ability, I think the offense kind of would have been downsized, as the offensive line hasn't been necessarily the best for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the playmaking ability and the escapability of Patrick Mahomes has kind of boosted and kind of saved the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line from really escaping that criticism. But nonetheless, Patrick Mahomes has been otherworldly during these playoffs. The 49er front seven has been otherworldly during these playoffs. But at the end of the day, my advantage in this matchup, it has to go to the Kansas City Chiefs. I think their speed on the outside with Hardman, Hill, and Watkins, and you combine those three speed elements with dominance of Travis Kelce on the inside, I think even with the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line deficiencies, the Chiefs have the advantage in this matchup. I don't think they're going to necessarily explode and score 35, 40 points, but I expect a really good day from this Kansas City offense, and the advantage goes to Kansas City. Now we're talking the Kansas City defense versus the San Francisco offense, led by Jimmy Garoppolo, Raheem Mostert, and without Tevin Coleman, I think it's going to show a bit in this Super Bowl. It's going to show a little bit. You do have George Kittle, Emmanuel Sanders on the outside, who has been, I think, one of the biggest midseason steals in recent history, with the way that the 49ers really needed a boost to the outside receivers. And not only to add that boost with the outside receivers, he adds that veteran presence, a guy who's already been to a Super Bowl and won one. He's brought that leadership that was very much needed in the San Francisco locker room. The running game for the 49ers has been very, very solid throughout these playoffs. Even with the injury to Tevin Coleman, you still have Matt Breida that can step into that place, and they still have that two-back role with Mostert and also Matt Breida. Honestly, the Kansas City Chiefs defense, led by Tyrann Mathieu and Frank Clark, I honestly been suspect. The Kansas City Chiefs defense is honestly, to me, I've said this on Twitter, I've said this a lot, they are absolutely suspect to me, despite the great play of Tyrann Mathieu. I haven't believed in this Chiefs defense. I just haven't. They kind of struggled to really garner Derrick Henry in the AFC Championship game within the first few quarters, and I think they were kind of bailed out by their own offense because they were playing with a lead. I think the Chiefs got more aggressive once their offense started rolling. You could take more of a chance because you're playing with a lead, and then you're also playing against a Tennessee team. Let's be honest, they really had to put the game in Ryan Tannehill's hands, and he couldn't win it. San Francisco's offense against the Green Bay Packers was basically run, and run again, with Garoppolo only attempting 8 passes in the NFC Championship game. Is that going to win them the Super Bowl? No. Jimmy G has to elevate his game in order for them to win, and he has to throw more than 8 passes. I think Kansas City secondary, outside of Tyrann Mathieu, is not that great. Braylon has been up and down, and so has Kendall Fuller. I just don't believe in this Kansas City secondary. They haven't been great. They made some plays when they've had to make those plays, but at the end of the day, their defense is suspect. Secondary is the main question within the Kansas City Chiefs, in my opinion. And then you have to worry about stopping George Kittle, who is one of the greater tight ends in this game today. And not only has a receiver, George Kittle is a very, very underrated blocker within the San Francisco running game. Even though Jimmy G really hasn't had to elevate his game for the 49ers to advance in the Super Bowl, they have to elevate Jimmy G. They have to. But my advantage in this matchup goes to the 49ers because I think Jimmy G, although he hasn't played absolutely great in these playoffs, I think he's going to do enough against that Kansas City suspect defense. I think he would do enough to kind of keep Kansas City's offense off of the field. They're probably going to still attack the running game in order to control the time of possession. But Jimmy G, I think, will make a bit more plays with his arm than he did in the NFC Championship game. I think the secondary of the Chiefs is not that great, and I think the way that Kyle Shanahan calls plays, he's going to kind of take advantage of that weakness. So the 49ers have that advantage. This Super Bowl, I think, is going to be a hard-fought Super Bowl. It's going to be a well-played Super Bowl. I'm just hoping for a better game than that 13-3 Super Bowl showing that we got last year between the Patriots and the Rams, which was an absolute bore to sit through, because me being an offensive guy, I honestly think this Super Bowl is going to be an offensive Super Bowl. There's going to be a good amount of points scored by each side, but this game, I think, is going to come down to who makes that big play when it's necessary. Who makes that one stop when it's necessary? Who makes that one game-changing play that's really going to take the level of this game from one side to the other? It's going to be an offensive game. The defenses are going to have a bit of a time kind of struggling with the offenses of each side of the ball. But at the end of the day, you guys have been asking me this all week. Who do I think is going to win? Who do I pick to win the Super Bowl? My head is telling me the San Francisco 49ers. My gut is telling me the Kansas City Chiefs. So, here is my pick. My pick to win this year's Super Bowl is going to go to the Kansas City Chiefs. I know San Francisco's defense is one of the elite defenses, but I think they're going to have a really hard time with the speed and the play calling and the scheme of the Kansas City offense. And I think even though Kansas City's defense has been suspect, the way the 49ers offense is not that high power, is not that high scoring, it doesn't have a lot of speed. I think the speed of the Kansas City Chiefs team overall, I think is gonna kind of outplay the power of the San Francisco 49ers team. Even though their defense, like I said, the Niners defense is elite, I just think the Kansas City Chiefs offense puts up enough points that I don't think the 49ers power offense is going to be able to keep up with. So my score in this game, I'm going to have the Chiefs win it, and I think it's going to be a score of 31-27. Kansas City takes home the Super Bowl trophy, their first since 1969. That is going to do it. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, as that helps your channel to grow. Comment, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl, and why do you think either the 49ers or the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl? I do read my comment section, so I really would enjoy to hear different perspectives of who you guys think is going to win the Super Bowl. And also, click that notification bell to be notified of when your boy uploads. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Both handles are APW Sports, and both will be linked in the description below. You guys have a great and excellent day, and enjoy safely Super Bowl 54. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out.
I wanna say thank you to my mom and my daddy for making love the night that you had me. Wanna thank my friends, my sister and my brother.